Many of you probably would like to learn how to do a front flip to show off at the beach or at the swimming pool this summer. Although front flip is not the hardest trick, the consequences of doing it the wrong way may be very serious. And it is only more complicated to do the front flip right off the high platforms. In this video we tried our best to explain the technique in detail. Plus we got a subscriber who says he can do it from the highest platform with no training. How high was he able to go without hurting himself?
Это 3 метра.
Watch until then to make your own conclusions about a front flip from a huge platform. All stunts are performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. This video is intended for informational purposes only. Don't try anything without a professional advisory. Hey, what's up, water crew? My name is Jim and I know how to jump in the water. If you are here just to watch the front flip tutorial, I suggest using the timecodes to save your time. But I do highly recommend to watch the whole video because of its unique story. I want to introduce you to one of our subscribers, Andrew. He is a professional swimmer, never done any acrobatics in the water or anywhere else. And he took a bet that he will learn how to do a front flip from 10 meters in one day. As for me, I think it's impossible, but he came to us and said that if we won't guide him, he will do it himself. Blackmailer swimmer! Wow! But this makes you lucky, because you will see not only the right technique, but also what may happen to a fellow who is in a hurry on a huge platform. Andrew on 10 meters. I don't want to think about it. By the way, water crew, I've started giving pro tips about your dives, water jumps in my Instagram. Don't forget to follow me there. You can send your video and I'll send some feedback or even do a couple of stories. Anyway, it's always better to have an offline coach, okay? Let's fly. Okay guys, front flip consists of 3 main steps: take off, flight and the entry. Let's imagine that you don't have any proper facilities, then let's start with the takeoff near the wall. The perfect takeoff if you jump up and a little bit forward, sending your heels backward to start the rotation. This is not that easy, especially for beginners. To practice the right takeoff you can use a wall. Take 2 steps back from the wall, raise your arms up and jump. Try to reach as high up to the wall as you can with your hands. You should feel a hard push on the wall, so you will have no problem with rotating in the future. Make sure to squeeze your glutes and never lean too much forward. This mistake will make you smack on the water. And one more rule for the takeoff is not to do a back arc, but to stay straight instead. This is a very common thing that beginners struggle with. Okay, enough practicing hitting the wall. Let's see where we should start in the water. The next step is to take a tuck position. Of course, it's better to do it in a dry land, in a gym, but if you don't have such facilities, you can do it from the pool deck, from the lowest point. I'll show you. Tucking up is what you should be doing in the air while front flipping. To practice the position, you can do a front jump tuck. And by the way, before you start any diving, check the surface. It shouldn't be slippery or something like that. It's very important. Take off and bring your knees up to your chest in the air. Don't forget to grab your legs with your hands. Hold tight. Then kick your legs out before you reach the water, if you don't want to hurt your peaches. The next step is so-called rainbow or swan dive. By the way, I have a detailed tutorial on the channel on how to do that dive from any height. Go check it out. Swan dive helps you practice the take-off with the rotation altogether. To get even more out of your training and feel more comfortable with rotating, you should try to do a roll underwater. It feels like a slow more underwater flip, and it does give you a sense on what to expect from the flip in the air. If you came to the pool with a friend, he can be a great help for your takeoff practice. Find something you can jump over, for example a stick or a noodle in our case. So my goal here is to jump over the noodle and then to add the underwater roll. Once you do everything with no problem, you know your takeoff is right. And it's better not to be in a hurry, to practice this right takeoff more times, and then you can try a front flip from the poolside. Keep in mind that you will need much more speed here than on swan dive. However, do not worry if you land on your butt at the first try. Maybe this will encourage you not to go anywhere higher. To be absolutely honest, this way, of course, it's not for the 1 week or 1 month. I'm doing diving more than 20 years, but practice makes perfect. Okay, now it is time to try out the 1 meter springboard. You should have no issues with this high if you spent enough time practicing on the pool deck. For the safety purposes, you better jump further from the board. Remember not to lean forward too much though. To be honest, Olympic technique looks a bit different and needs much more time for practicing in the dry land. However, once again, I've been in diving forever and the rule for the beginners, the further, the safer. Let's see if Andrew is going to be able to do it. Well, just like I said, he dove right down and landed on his butt as the result. I warned him to practice more before going to the 1 meter board, but he was way too confident. Okay, let's have another try. Oh! The second attempt looked much better. I like how Andrew actually straightened his legs before the entry. This was a nice zero-pain landing. I wish Andrew would practice more on 1 meter, but he doesn't want to wait, so we shall see what happens on 3 meter platform.
Okay, from 1 meter you don't have to think about what are you doing in the air, but when you come to 3 meter platform, it's already time to think about it.
To get everything together in the air, remember to take off up and forward, tuck up tight, and when you kick your legs out, do not try to search for the water under you, to avoid a face smack. Put your arms down and keep your body as tight as you can, especially for the glutes. So this is how a nearly perfect front flip of 3 meters should look like. But this is one of the easiest tricks for me, so I'm wondering what Andrew's first attempt is going to look like from this high. Fingers crossed, he is going for it. Honestly, this is a very questionable attempt. He over-rotated and didn't have a perfect landing. Even though we are limited in time, I cannot land Andrew to go up to the 5 meters.
Whoop.
This landing is much better, although Andrew is twisting in the air because his takeoff is a bit crooked. He also forgot to put his arms down and got a nice bruise all over them.
Вот она маленькая.
Yet he says he is going up to 5 meters. Let's go talk about some of the technique details there.
From 3 meters, if you take the right direction, it's no problem. You take the tuck, open, and it's already the water. But from 5 meters, you have to open a little bit earlier. Because if you open just after the front flip, you will meet the water with your face, I mean. Only if you are absolutely sure that you feel the rotation, you feel that you can open a little bit earlier from 5 meters, then you can do it. Let's try.
You can see that I kick my legs at an angle to stop the rotation, because I don't want to smack. But this technique actually needs many hours to master, and some extra exercises in a dry land. Guys, you must go slow at 5 meters. Andrew is an insane person for going up to 5 meters so quickly. I reminded him to take it slow and come out early. I really hope for the best now.
Wow! Unofficial!
That was a great try considering his lack of experience. Believe it or not, Andrew says he categorically wants to go to 7 meters. I cannot imagine how he is going to survive there, so I suggest to use bubbles for this attempt. By the way, I have an awesome episode on the channel that explains what bubbles are. It has about 500,000 views already, so make sure to check it out.
7 meters, it is not a place for jokes actually. And as for me, I don't know how to do a proper front flip from 7 meters without this angle opening. I don't know what's going to happen to Andrew, but he is crazy.
I've made the angle again. That's much easier for me. You can see that the legs are making the opposite rotation, so this really helps. But I have no idea what Andrew is going to do with his flip from this platform. I additionally asked him to put a long sleeve to protect his arms from getting bruised again. I am so nervous for Andrew. Okay, let the bubbles go. We've done everything to make this safer. I cannot put into words how lucky Andrew got. He didn't go as slow as he should have and over-rotated by much. but because he twisted in the air, which is actually a mistake. He was incredibly lucky to land on his back instead of his face. And thanks for the bubbler, he didn't feel the pain at all. Now the most interesting part. 10 meters platform.
Now it is 10-meter platform, and things here are a little bit more complicated, believe me guys. The thing is that you have to do your front flip very extremely slow if you don't want to seize the water with your eyes like this. The other solution is to make a kind of a leap of faith, you know, from the game Assassin's Creed. If you would like us to make this, write this in the comments, please. Okay, now it's time to make a front flip with a kind of a slow, ordinary rotation. And after that, let's see what happens to my subscriber Andrew.
And now let's see if Andrew learned his lesson today. Guys, we are on our way to the 10 meters platform. Look at Andrew walking way too confident in front of us. I'm getting suspicious.
А потом нам отвечать. Чё? Стой! Реально, ты чё, дурак?
What a crew! Of course we couldn't let this happen. Andrew's jump from 7 meters showed that there is no chance to survive from 10 meters. That platform doesn't take your mistakes easy. I suggest you to watch the whole playlist of our tutorials, the link is in the description. It is really useful. Cheer us up with your subscription, likes and of course pushing the bell with all notifications. I really adore this. I hope that Andrew's story explains why you should practice more at lower heights and to have at least a lifeguard nearby. And please guys, don't do crazy stuff. We will do it instead of you. Take care. Bye.